Joining me now is veteran broadcaster Dee Dee Dunleavy. Dee Dee, let's start with the royals. Prince William has appointed Jason North, a former royal aide who accused Meghan Markle of bullying. He's appointed this dude as the CEO of his green charity, the Earthshot Prize. This looks like an unequivocal message to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from Prince William. I mean, of all the people he could have appointed, Dee Dee, he's picked this dude.
Yeah, look, I honestly don't believe that William is that vindictive, but it does actually tell us a lot because this guy, Jason North, now, however it's pronounced, he was the person who filed the complaint back in 2018, alleging that Meghan was bullying people behind the scenes in the palace. He, at that time, was communications head for both William and Kate and for Harry and Meghan. So he obviously knows what's going on behind the scenes quite clearly. So I think what this appointment tells us is that he's still a trusted and respected member behind the palace walls. And that then adds credibility to those claims that he came forward with back in 2018. So I think it tells us a lot more than just the fact that he's still at William's side.
I think it tells us that they believe his version of events rather than Harry and Meghan's.
Exactly.
Now, Meghan Markle has been caught up in another plagiarism accusation. The author of the children's book series Pearl Power, Mel Elliott, has told the Daily Mail that Markle's Netflix series that has now been scrapped, which was set to be named Pearl, had many similarities to her books that were too great to ignore, Dee Dee. She's had a few of these sorts of accusations in recent times.
Yes, Meghan loves copying things, doesn't she? I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe Meghan invented jam. Maybe there's never been jam before she came up with jam and started selling it to everyone. That's a possibility. It's really interesting, the timing with this particular case. So this woman's books were written 7 years earlier than all of this happened, than Meghan's show Pearl was announced in 2021. And around that time, a letter was sent from this author to Netflix and to Meghan's Archwell, I think was the company at the time. And around that same time, it was then announced that Meghan's version of Pearl would not be proceeding. But the interesting thing, and the thing I think that this author is disappointed with, is that Meghan never responded to that letter. And as she said, you know, Meghan calls herself a feminist, and here she's appearing, we'll never know for sure, appearing to take, let's just be generous and say, inspiration from the work of another woman. It doesn't fit. It's a case of, you know, do as I say, don't do as I do. And like you said, Rita, you know, the copying claims just continue to come. There's the show that very, very closely resembles the one that was put out a few months earlier by Pamela Anderson. And there's the logo for her As Ever, which looked very much like the coat of arms for a small town in Spain.
Yes.
It just tells us nothing she does is original. I just find her such a faker. And she's not a person that I would ever look to for inspiration about anything, because nothing she does is original.
Well, she did. I think she's the only person who has taken pretzels from a bag that she's purchased at the shop and put them in another bag, and that's been part of her lifestyle program.
Yes.
So that was pretty original. I'm not sure one that should be emulated, but